What are the most thankless jobs in society? Biomedical equipment support technicians. I know because I'm one. No representation in the hospital C-suites. Max pay is around $100,000 after years and years. Financial and personal risk is high. Electrical and biohazard risks daily. Keep the money machine chugging along. No one really thinks, what if the medical equipment breaks down and there is literally no one available to fix it? The billion-dollar health industry shuts down. Too bad we can't get a strong union going. This career field is dying and people's healthcare will be affected. Coroners and medical examiners. Back in 2022, my youngest sibling ended their life via self-inflicted gunshot wounds. I think about the coroner, or even deputy coroner who had to pick my sibling up that day. I'm fully aware of where my siblings shot themselves, and personally, I don't know that I could have looked at my sibling, given I know where the gunshot wounds were. Can't begin to imagine what went through the heads of the coroner and medical examiners during that time period. Security is a very thankless job. Worked as armed security for almost 10 years after leaving the Marine Corps for all sorts of entities. You never hear thanks from anyone until your direct actions result in the protection of another or greatly improve their well-being. If everything is always smooth sailing, there's little gratitude felt towards security personnel, even though their very presence might be the only reason why the sailing is smooth. TS that are super important to society, but underfunded because they do little to further capitalist interests. I'm talking deep-sea research, sex research, supplement research, disability research, etc. Imagine being in your late 20s with a $7,001,000 student loan payment, making like $70,000, doing something that is invaluable to society at that. The President of the United States, regardless of which side of the aisle you are on, or automatically 40-50 of the county's population, isn't going to like you simply because you have an ROAD behind your name. Secret Service following you around for the rest of your life. Never being able to just go out for a drive by yourself or you and your spouse. Or go for a walk out in public. Yeah. No thanks. Management employees, teachers, people that load and unload pallets from trucks, truckers, longshoremen, employees who have to cut the grass on the medians and shoulders of busy interstates and highways. There are a lot of jobs that people look down upon or think of as menial, but in reality they're pretty damn important, and you'd be freaking out if they weren't there. Teachers and soldiers. People say they care about soldiers, and that's why the defense budget is so huge. We need to give them everything they need. That's just an excuse to spend money. Our politicians want to. Veterans can have a terrible time receiving health care, social services, and help in general. Once we've used up their useless, we could seeming not care less about them. Probably people who filter all the bad content from the internet that you shouldn't see. The people who have to deal with the dark side of business to keep things looking like roses and flowers. For example, your vacation stay through a third-party servicer was a nightmare and something truly horrific happened. There are people who deal with that. 911 dispatch callers, etc. Preschool teaching and daycare workers. I am working towards my degree in early childhood education, and it is appalling how little I will make. I want to be a preschool teacher, and the salary is honestly barely livable. It is sad because the job is so necessary and needed in society, and we get paid like we are teenagers working in a Target after school. Damn, no one saying slaughterhouse workers. At everyone loves me, LOL. At the shit of the animal intestines. Also a job full of poor immigrants, at least in first world countries. In the US, the government found illegal miners working on the cleaning crews not too long ago. Sir, every other job here will at least get people to say that they perform a necessary function and deserve thanks. But literally everyone hates TSA. I do too, but I do recognize that it's probably an absolutely shit job to work. And it's not the random workers' fault that the TSA is such useless garbage. Antenna masts, wind turbines, and other massively high structures to build fix the stuff that our society is based on. We should, perhaps, seriously consider if we support and worship the wrong gods. Ain't enough because we put in a lot of our knowledge and wisdom to help people reach their fitness goals, and sometimes we don't get thank yous with people trying to take full credit for their change. Custodian. I'm in IT. It would take a week maybe to before things started falling apart without us. Accounting. Until the next pay cycle. Principals. We're front-loaded with enough work that they could be gone a few months. People stop cleaning the bathrooms. We'd be shut down in 2 days. CNA in a nursing home. Makes like $11 an hour to get kicked and punched by psych patients and bath and wipe asses. Short staffing in nursing homes results in more and more patients added to their plate, hurting their backs and exhausting them daily with no appreciation from anyone. Hotel workers. Most people are unhappy, and you lose hope for humanity by how common it is to experience how horrendous the public can be. I seriously salute all housekeeping staff, security, and any extension of a hotel. They are a literal punching bag and severely underpaid. Everyone acts like teachers are the big heroes, but we actually treat them almost with contempt when they voice what they actually need to do their jobs. Teaching is hardly thankless, but I think this sort of paradoxical treatment might make them actually feel worse. Interestingly enough, their selection rate is lower than Harvard if you apply in the NYC. HTML text last 20 more 20, and 2090 to COO. 1 to DOLF 20 of 201 20%. People who clean the hospitals. They are the one who play one of the major roles in preventing the spread of diseases. Yet, they are not respected much, and in fact people tend to look down upon. I think they should be given more respect and salary. Farmers feed more or less the whole damn planet, yet everyone looks down on them because they usually aren't as book smart as other people. Their street smarts make up for it and feed all of us. Thank you all if there are any in here. Meteorologists should be up there, playing an important role in doing their best to predict something that is very difficult to predict precisely, and the only time they usually hear from people is when they get something wrong. Pharmacists, they deal with people at their worst or least patient, which can be volatile. I work retail and would put up tags and signs adjacent to the pharmacy in our store, and the shit I heard customers say to them. Yesh. CEO. CH money you siphon from the poor. How little you pay your employees. How many politicians you've bought, or how many luxury yachts you own. Your efforts will never be appreciated by the common masses. Any position in the service industry that works directly with the customers. That's not management. Convenience store cashier. Grocery store workers. Department store workers. Restaurant workers, that's just to name a few. All the things that actually matter, pretty much. Building things, producing food, fixing, maintaining and cleaning things. You know, all the essential jobs that tend to make less money and are looked down on. Undertakers, more specifically police recovery undertakers. We only appear at the worst time of someone's life. Then we fade back into the shadows. It can be a tough gig, both physically and mentally. Warehouse and logistics jobs. We never think about the people that are unloading and loading containers or picking and forwarding orders. But if they stopped working, we would notice it right away. Social workers at nursing homes. Underpaid, overworked and stressed. Not dealing with futures but ends. Yet, they are tireless advocates for dignity and respect of the people they serve. Morticians and bombers. Someone's got to do it. We just happen to be the someone. We never really get a thank you, but the reward of seeing a happy family makes up for a lot of it. Farm labor. Everyone loves the guy that runs the farm. To white guy in Levi's and plaid, but migrant labor that actually picks the celery you eat is demonized by our society. Utility workers keeping the magic services that turn up into your houses and offices running. while simultaneously nearly being killed often by angry drivers at roadworks, working in group homes for the disabled. Low pay, and no one ever thanks you, yet in many cases you are taking care of people's family members they couldn't take care of. Teachers, they deal with a lot from little shits non-stop, yet parents argue their little shit can do no wrong, and those teachers are root of all the problems. Custodians, teachers, social workers, really any job that's dedicated to helping people or keeping society functioning that people don't tend to think about. When you are retired and you are running everyone else's errands that people working in the household can't do or won't do because they are too busy working. Teachers. Most students in my school forget their teachers are human beings with their own lives, and they don't get paid enough to deal with the students' BS. Medical assistants, nursing home staff. The C do things no one should have to see or do. And they are way underpaid, imho. The good ones are heroes. What an entitled person would call menial work like waste removal, plumbing, janitorial services, and others, extremely valuable services to society. Paramedics and nurses. They helped me on the worst days of my life and looked after me while I recovered. Their way underpaid and underappreciated. I wouldn't say the most thankless per SE, but I'm in manufacturing that makes parts for vehicles that 99.99% of the people don't see or even know exist. Nurses on a medical unit. No patient wants to be there, and more often, and not dementia patients. And you can guarantee none of them thank you.